Good morning, good evening, and good everything in between, and welcome to the podcast. It's our middle of August edition. I'm your host, Jim Bobernicki, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Gabe Lerman. How you doing, Gabe?
Content. Fresh watermelon will do that to me.
Ooh, that's nice. I don't know if you noticed there, I got caught up on the I'm because I was like, I'm who? Who am I? I've forgotten for a moment. And we're joined also as always by Mr. Mike Obieli. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing fine, and for once I feel like I belong in this call because I'm wearing my new t-shirt, which is a moose with a maple leaf on it.
Ooh, look at
I
you
fit in.
repping the North.
I had
We'll
three
make a
coworkers go to
Canadian out of you,
Canada.
Yeti.
I had three coworkers go to Canada at the same time on vacation. All three went to different parts. So I got three different Canadian t-shirts as a souvenir.
Oh,
Where'd they go?
sorry.
Montreal, Toronto, and then one went to like Niagara Falls, back to Toronto, and then somewhere else I forget.
Okay, sick. Did I ever tell you guys about that geographical snafu I had where I thought Niagara Falls and Toronto were the same place for years until like my teens, and I told someone that, and they just looked at me like, "You're joking, right? Like that's a joke you just made up."
Canadian problems.
So yeah, like we said, it is the middle of August here. The season is very much, we are really plugging along. We're actually getting. I feel like we're so much closer to the end than the beginning. I'm getting sad because I want the baseball season to last all time. But well, where the playoff picture is really shaping up. The Hawks have almost clinched a spot, and the Lions are definitely out of it now. Definitely, they could win every single game. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. Mike, did you have it? I'm not Gabe. Did you have anything for us on the news front this week?
No, it's all quiet there. If anything, I think we can just get into around the horn.
Alrighty, so let's get right into it. The main part of the show, our Around the Horn segment, where you take a look at every team from top to bottom in the league, starting with the best team in all of Japan, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. 4-2 this week, and I feel like they've been 4-2 like every week for like a couple months, basically since the season started. It's always just been winning baseball for them, bringing their magic number to 31. I believe it might be 30. I'm not sure how the math plays out, but they did lose this morning, so it might still be 31. Which is now I really want to see them to get to 100 wins this season. How many games is there left? There's like 40 ish? It would be very unlikely. They'd have to basically win all their games. But if there was a team that could do it, it would be these Hawks.
I
Only
was
thing
going to
they have,
say, no team has ever won 100 games in a 143 game season.
they can do it though. This is the team to do it.
They'd need to go 33 and 6 down the stretch.
Okay, wait. I'm trying to do some quick math real quick. If it's no, yeah. After 3 weeks, it would be 12-6. Then they'd have to win. Like, okay. Well, hey, maybe they could. Anyway, all of that is thanks, of course, to our stellar batting lineup and great pitching, including the July MVP for pitching, Mr. Kohei Arihara, who picked up the award this month after having 3 wins in July with a 1.5 ERA throughout the month. He's been great all season. Doesn't really surprise me that he's picking it up. But also a little shout out to the eventual Sawamura Award winner. That is Mr. Lee Van Moinello, who only allowed 3 total base runners before absolutely shutting down the Lions for the rest of the game. It's like if you just ignore the first inning, it was a perfect game. But yeah, you got a bit knocked around the first inning. But yeah, that's the update with the Hawks. As usual, they're winning. They're doing great. Did you guys have anything you wanted to add on to them?
Envy.
Fair enough. Well, let's kick it over to our second place team in the league, the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. Take it away, Gabe.
That's right. For the first time in a long while, the Fighters have snuck into second on percentage points. Part of that is a 6-game winning streak, interrupted by a loss, but 5-1 since our last broadcast. You remember how last year the Fighters were well under 500 at Escon Field, Hokkaido? This year, 31-20-5. Big turnaround now that they're getting used to their digs, finally got the place decorated the way they want, hung out a few times in the Hotel Onsen out in left field. Yeah, they got the place figured out. And fun fact, the only team without a home field advantage, without a better record at home than on the road, is the Rakuten Eagles.
When you said percentage points, it's actually, I believe, a singular percentage point.
Yes, that is true. It is 0.001.
Yeah, the smallest of margins possible that could decide home field advantage come playoff time.
I want to talk about 3 sluggers, 2 active, 1 retired for the Fighters this week. I know we talk a lot about their 4-headed pitching monster, but let's focus on the bats. First baseman Kotaro Kiyomiya cannot be stopped. He has hit 5 home runs in the last 2 weeks. His OPS on the season now stands at 875. Really stinking good. One of those home runs was actually the 85th, 100th home run, 8,500th home run in club history back on August 11th. He also had the 8,000th home run to show you how long Kiyomiya has been with the Fighters. I got to admit, I got caught on this. Did anyone call Yuya Gunji as a breakout candidate? Move him off catcher, put him at third base. He's basically displaced Yuki Nomura at the hot corner. He sits 7th in the batting title race, slashing 272, 321, 398 with 11 home runs. All of those are career highs. The Dragons traded him away during 2023 for a pittance. I mean, I think everyone, us included, thought it was meh for meh. I stand thoroughly corrected. And the former slugger, Fernando Seguinol, returned to Hokkaido to throw out the first pitch on that August 11th game. The Panamanian slugger hit 172 home runs across 8 seasons in the Pacific League, 4 of those with the Fighters. Just so happened to coincide with their back-to-back pennant wins and 2006 Japan Series title. He really enjoys being back in Hokkaido, and he said as much to the fans after throwing out the first pitch.
I've never heard somebody say Panamanian before. I know that's definitely like the word for it, but that just sounds so good. Panamanian. And so that brings us over to our third place team in the league, the Chiba Loaded Marines. Take it away, Mike.
Yay, third place. Pain. Roll the it's over clip. Not yet, but keep it on standby.
Not even close.
It's over. It's so over. Anyway, 3-3 since we last spoke. As mentioned before, slipping behind the Fighters by a singular percentage point, or 0.01. Yeah, so they took the first game of the series against Nippon Ham. They lost the second game. That was this morning. And then tomorrow they're looking to take the series with Roki Sasaki on the mound, but he will be going up against Takayuki Kato, who's been good this season. On that first game of the series, it was a 6-0 shutout with Kazuya Ojima going 8 innings and Hirokazu Sawamura closing it out. So that was a pretty good game. Nice to go 8 innings, save your bullpen like that. Yudai Fujioka has been removed from the active roster, and as far as I could tell, I did not find any particular reasoning for it or anything officially announced or given. He's just been removed so far. I mean, there might be something out there. I just didn't see it, but that is something that happened. And Akito Takabe was named the July MVP after batting 405 through the month. The 26-year-old is having a career year so far, making much more contact than previous seasons and massively cutting down on the strikeouts, which is always good. But other than that, not much news really out there. But Atsuki Taneichi struck out 6 while only allowing 3 base runners and 1 run in a complete game recently. And, he's been really good all year, so... And then, as far as I know, no news from Ayamu Ishikawa as of yet about what happened with him, so... Still wondering what's going on there with his removal from the active roster when he came back from injury in his first start in over 2 years. He was doing pretty well, so hopefully that's something minor.
Yeah, and I remember seeing something about that. There was like some big concert at the Marines game the other day. I don't really know anything about that. Or
Their Black Summer Nights concert series and general promotion continues to be one of the highlights of the Lotte schedule. Like, crowd onto the field, get showered in cooling mist and water during some of the hottest periods of the Japanese summer, listen to amazing music, get tossed a couple towels or t-shirts by the Marines mascots. Your MLB club would never do anything like that, included with admission.
Oh, it's all included too? That's crazy.
Hey, to be fair, my MLB team does have some concerts where your game ticket is your concert ticket. It's just usually somebody you would never want to see, and there's a reason that your concert ticket's included with the game ticket, and everybody's already left, and the crowd's like 1,000 people.
Well, I mean, it's something. I mean, my MLB team would never do it because I don't have one.
They left.
They left me for Washington. Couldn't even leave me for a good city. Like, I totally blanked. Miami, yeah, man. Oh, the Miami Expos would have been awesome. That would have been debauchery, the team. Anyway, that brings us over to our fourth place team in the league, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Take it away again, Mike.
Wow, I'm back already. It's been a while since it's been like that, huh? 3-3 since we last spoke. Hey, I'm noticing a pattern here. Treading water as I've been somewhat accustomed to, and honestly, you can go back and listen to probably any previous episode about the Eagles, and I'm sure we've said that. They suffered their first sweep of the season this week, which is actually interesting. I figured they would have been swept already. They dropped their third consecutive game to the Fighters, making them the last team to get swept this season. So, I mean, that's a cool way to get swept, just make it to the very end. Unfortunately, as the record indicates, this has not stopped them from losing their share of series so far. So, yep, still in fourth place. But Takahisa Hayakawa had a complete game against Oryx. It was 3-0, and yeah, he got 9 Ks in that game. It was a really good game by Hayakawa there. And they're currently in the middle of a series with Oryx right now, and they're looking to sweep Oryx. Speaking of sweeps, they beat them this morning 6-1, and Oryx, I forget, I think their lone run was off a home run, but yeah, they're pretty much beating up on Oryx, which everybody does at this point. But that's all I got from the Rockton so far. Really, nothing going on there either.
Yeah, it's been a quiet week, and that brings us over to the fifth place team, the previously aforementioned Oryx Buffaloes. Take it away, Gabe.
Yeah, speaking of quiet weeks, 2-4 since last episode, less than ideal. The only team that the Buffaloes have a winning record against this season is the Lions. That barely counts. That includes a depressing game against Takahisa Hayakawa. Not only was it a complete game shutout, only 2 hits, only 2 walks, only the minimum number of batters were faced. Pickoffs, double plays, not entirely sure how that wound down. Not worth watching. I'm glad to see that catcher Tomoya Mori is finally turning it on this season. He's now 5th in the PL batting race with 7 home runs, leading to a 279, 368, 416 slash line. Considering how frosty he started the season, good to see that he's starting to find his stroke again. And oh yeah, speaking of guys rediscovering, Leandro Cedeno's back in the lineup. He played in that August 13th game. I'm hoping he gets more reps because he's still stuck at what, 7 or 8 home runs? Got to get moving again.
Yeah, that's really surprising because he's got a lot of power. I mean, I don't follow the Buffaloes, so I didn't know he was that low, but I would have assumed more just by whenever I do watch him hit. That's really
He
surprising.
has not been playing that much. That's why.
Well, you want to talk about someone or group of people not really performing? I'd say not really play much, but man, do they do play games and they lose games. I'll tell you that much. Our bottom feeders, the basement dwellers, the cellar keepers of the Pacific League. Our Saitama Seibu Lions 1-5 this week with a scrappy little win coming in at home against the Hawks this morning. Just so close to getting going 0-6. And I woke up and I saw the score and I said, how dare you? Because if the Lions are the reason the Hawks don't get to 100 wins, I'm going to be very upset. But, as usual, we can talk about how historic the history being made by the Lions at this point. They have landed themselves prior to today's win in yet another 8-game losing streak. Which is the 4th time they've done that this season, which is the first time that's ever happened in Pacific League history. Very interesting, very cool history being made for them. And they are now 42 games below 500 for the first time since 1971. Even if they won every single game, even if they just defied all expectations in history possible and rattled off a 40-game win streak, they would still be under 500. It's been a season of absolute disappointment. I saw this highlight of against the Fighters where a guy grounded down the line and it was just trickling down the line. And you had like 4 Lions run up to the ball but not take it because they were hoping it would go foul, and they just like fell over instead, and it stayed fair. And I was like, that's the Lions season right there. Just like that and good pitching. But I don't know which pitchers they'll be able to hold on to this season if they post. Who's looking to get posted this year? Is it Imai or
It was Kona Takahashi, but hey, Kaima Taida's working his way back from injury.
Yeah, no, I did see that. I saw Taida had a performance, so it will be good to see him get back. And I mean, where do you even put the rest of the pitchers? Like, geez. But yeah,
turn Taira into like the 7th and 9th or seventh and eighth inning guy. Just
Seventh,
both,
no, 7th, 8th, and 9th. You make him
yeah,
the super closer. I
the
like it.
stopper.
That's actually kind of a fun idea. I can get into that. Like Sumida picked up 8 strikeouts against the Hawks today. Also gave up 7 hits. Not that great, but only 1 run and picked up the win. So good for him. It's just, whatever positives there are to hold on to, they are few and far between. But
Play out
that
the
is,
string, flush it, get back next season.
hopefully with the new young pitchers and maybe try to draft. I don't know who's coming up. I don't know. I haven't been. Anyone see anything going on at Kyoshin? Is there someone worth getting? Is someone worth picking up?
I haven't had a chance to watch any of the games. I'm not getting up early enough.
Yeah, that's the real problem. Maybe I'll try that tonight or on the weekend or something. Or
The games actually start quite early on. Like there's games going on right now that you can watch.
oh,
They start around like 7 our time, and they pretty much go till like 3 in the
just go
morning,
through
something like that. Like
hmm,
I've been
okay.
watching some. I couldn't tell you the schools, and I mean I haven't seen anybody absurd like previous years. It's been pretty standard. The only thing I can say is my friend, who is a really hard representative of Okayama Prefecture, was very happy that the school from Okayama managed to advance. That's really all I got on that.
Well, hey, that's something. Good for that. And so that brings us to the end of the main show, and we're just going to wrap up here with our familiar faces in new places. Gabe, do you have any news for us for our boys doing stateside?
Yeah, and I'm glad you waited and skipped it last week because now I actually have a little bit more. Former Saitama Seibu Lion and former Toronto Blue Jay, Yusei Kikuchi impressed in his first start as a Houston Astro on August 2nd, striking out 11 batters in 5 2/3 innings, 8 of them in a row to tie a Houston franchise record. Atta boy, Yusei. And of course, we have to talk about the unicorn, Shohei Ohtani. Not only does he lead Major League Baseball in home runs with 37, he also has the second most stolen bases in the league with 33. He's already got a 30-30 season. There's still a month and a half left to play. 40-40, hell, 50-50 is not out of the question. The goofy part is Ohtani never really did much running in the Pacific League. His career high in Japan was 7 in a season. What gives? Why was he hiding this talent? Oh, and icing on the cake. You guys are not going to believe this. He could return to the mound before October. He's getting close.
Ooh.
With the way the Dodgers pitching staff is dropping, I don't know if that's a good thing.
With the way the Dodgers pitching staff is dropping, they may not have a choice.
They might start letting fans pitch with their tickets. Buy front row, you get to pitch an inning.
Important to point out, we have a midnight matinee coming up next week, I believe, on the. I always get the dates mixed
Sunday,
up.
August 25th, midnight Eastern.
So midnight 24th, midnight morning 25th. Please do check that out. Come see us. Come enjoy the live chat. Come listen to our beautiful voices do English commentary. And Gabe, who is playing in the game on this?
That would be the Hokkaido Deep Plunham Fighters at Escon Field, Hokkaido, hosting the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. A postseason preview to finish up our midnight matinee broadcast schedule. It's going to be good.
That is fantastic. I honestly couldn't think of a better way to wrap up the season. So again, we hope you will join us there and tune in next week for more podcast coverage. And as always, take care and we'll see you next time. Bye.